recent NIV publication, or as I like to refer to it, the neutered International Version. The wording's a little different. All Bible verse recitations or whiteboard, write out, whatever, needs to be word perfect. Part of that is because God's Word is perfect. All right, but the translations aren't. I know, but you know how hard it is for the Bible quiz judges to decide, okay, that's close enough, but that one isn't? So just, they say it exactly as one of the 4 translations. They don't have to tell us which translation in advance. We'll have all of them written out. We'll have all of the answers for all of the questions from all of the different translations and the Awana books. So we should have you covered. So what's covered? The Explorer. All right, so yes on the Explorer, yes on the definitions, or for the King James people in the audience, yea, verily. No on the discussion questions. All right, that's discussion. That's for your small group time, not for Bible quizzing. In the Explore section, the officially correct answer is the one that's in your leader guide. All right, but the kids don't have to memorize that exact answer. The only thing that has to be word perfect are the memory verses. And for this, even if the Explore section, the question happens to be from the memory verse, if we're not asking them to recite the verse, it doesn't need to be word perfect. If we're asking them to explain it, or what's the theme, or depending on whatever the question is in the Explorer, if it's anything other than recite it doesn't have to be word perfect. Now, usually the correct answer for if you're presumably TNT leaders, so you've checked off these sections a lot before, and you've noticed that usually the answer is right from the Bible. It's the last phrase, or the first phrase, or the middle word, whatever. And then, and this potentially could include references.
I lost sound.
Excuse me?
Can't hear anything with doing sound.
I don't see the green light on.
Me too.
All right. Sorry about that.
That's better.
All right. So everybody else just figured I'd...
I think it just went off. It
now went off? Okay, I'm going to turn on the other microphone too, just in case it has a battery thing. Okay. So references potentially were not going to be as specific. We're not trying to get them to memorize all the references from all of the Explore sections, but it is possible. So for example, if we ask them what Genesis 1:1 says, that's obvious. All right, they should have a general understanding. Genesis, they should have it memorized, but don't worry about that. But if it's Genesis 1:25, the man and his wife were in the garden together and they were naked and unashamed, we're not expecting them to, 1:25. Oh, that's the nudist verse, and answer some question about it. We're just, so the commonly known, the common verses, they should know the reference for them if they're in the Explore section, like this example here. What does Genesis 1:1 say about that God did, or that God created? More arcane references, not necessarily. The definitions They don't need to be word perfect. They will be covered. The answers need to demonstrate knowledge of the concepts. And just hint, hint, these are really easy to turn into quiz questions. What's not covered? The comics and the start here exercises. A wanna go and the related missions exercises are not part of Bible quizzing. Extra credit, silver and gold, not part of Bible quizzing. Any questions about what's covered for TNT before I go on? All right. Question format. TNT, there are 3 formats. There's multiple choice, which is the traditional Awana paddles. They will be given a question, for example, according to Genesis 1:1, what did God create? A, the heavens and the earth. B, everything. C, Adam and Eve. Then we'll say, we'll give them a few seconds to think about it. We'll say, select your answer. That is not the time to put up the paddle yet. That's the time to decide what answer they want. And then paddles up. That's when they will put up one of the paddles. And then the quiz master will say, the correct answer is A. The correct answer is A. Because according to Genesis 1:1, God created the heavens and the earth. Did God create everything? Yes. Did God create Adam and Eve? Yes. Is that what Genesis 1:1 says? No. That's why only A is the correct answer for that. All right, so there's an example of a multiple choice question. Short answers. So they'll do some multiple choice questions, and then when they're done with those, we'll tell them you can put the paddles down now and pick up the whiteboard. Each team, so every student in TNT has their own set of paddles and will be answering independently the multiple choice, holding up one of the paddles, A, B, or C. The top 2 scores, what TNT teams, most of them, the ideal TNT team is 2 players, 2-team TNT. And their scores will be added together. That's the team score. So they're answering independently, but their scores are added together. If you have an odd number of quizzers from your church, you may have 1 3-person team. In that case, the score of the top 2 quizzers will be added together. So the lowest score, total per person, not per question, the lowest score per person will be dropped. And that's how we'll even out, to normalize the scores. All right, so once that's over, then it's short.
Lost you again, Tom.
Not sure what's going on here, that these keep turning off.
Can hear you now.
That one's
All
off.
right. Are we good?
That one's off.
This
No, we're
one's
not now.
good. All right. Can you charge that?
Where's the charger at?
Over there, in the Tupperware like.
Nope.
All right. Let me switch here. Okay, now I'm just on.
Okay.
I'm on the PC audio, which is presumably lower quality, but at least it's not going to die on the battery.
Yeah, we can hear you. I can hear you.
All right, fantastic. Thank you. All right, so the short answers, also known as huddle, they will be writing their answer on the whiteboard. with a dry erase marker. Every team will have one whiteboard, one dry erase marker, which we will replace if it happens to dry out, and one eraser. They are to write the answer. So the question would be something to the effect of, according to Genesis 1:1, what did God create? And we'll say huddle. And that will be, they will have 5 to 10 seconds to discuss their answer between the two of them. Then we'll say, write your answer. And they don't have to wait till we say write your answer. That's just to cue them that, be moving along, start writing things out. We will warn them when they have 5 seconds left, and then we will say raise your paddles. And then not paddles, raise your boards. And I'll hold the whiteboard up so it's facing the judges, and then keep them up. We will have judges on the platform walking amongst the teams that will judge them. They'll have the right answers. We'll also say what the official right answer is, but the judges on the platform will have several different wordings that would be acceptable. Coaches, try to get your kids to write clear enough and dark enough that you can see them too. If you have any question about, if we said it's wrong and you think it should be right, you call out question and explain. Then you come to the judges table, you explain to the judges why you think that question should have been accepted, and then you go sit down and the judges will decide yes or no. If the question is right, they will be told keep the board up. If the question is wrong, they will be told to put the board down. Don't erase it yet, in case your coach has a question. Right? In case a question comes up, you don't want to have the board erased. Then the scorekeepers will take score. The boards that are still up are correct, and the teams will get scores. Will get their scores, and then we will say erase your board. Then we'll go on to the next question. At the end of that, we will have a few speed questions. They'll actually have buzzers. Believe it or not, the kids like it, or at least some of the kids like it. And the ones who like it are going to be the ones who buzz in. All right. All the speed questions for TNT will be verse recitations. We will ask them to give the reference and recite the verse that, and then explain something. Give a cue as to which memory verse they want, that we want from them. It won't be something abstract like, give the reference and recite the memory verse from Unit 2.3. It will be more conceptual, like, from the lesson that teaches us such and such, or that proves that, it's section 3 isn't in the quizzing, but since we just recently, that's where we are now in our TNT club. And so right off the top of my head, we just had the section, Jesus is fully God. And so, give the reference and recite the verse that shows that Jesus is fully God. Give the reference, recite the verse that shows that Jesus is fully man. We will try to keep it to short verses for that. Again, the really short one, well, they don't have to be really, the really short ones would be on huddle. For the recitation, it could be any of them. But again, we're not going to pick the really, really long ones, just a hint at TNT level. Hang on a moment.
Hour?
Yeah.